What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel Musi Gaming here, and today I'm back with another episode of account coaching series featuring Azure, who is a subscriber who reached out to me after watching one of my account coaching videos. And I gotta tell you, he has one of the best armors, at least for Wedge, that I've ever seen in Rise of Kingdoms. So we're gonna take a look together what he has. And if you're looking for some crazy armament sets, stay tuned because you're in for a surprise. But anyways, so just to give you a little bit of background, Azure, as you can see on the screen here, reached out to me on Discord, basically saying, "Hey, like I watched one of your account coaching videos. I was wondering if you can do mine." And he showed me his stuff. And I was like, "Oh my god, whatever you have is really crazy." And as you can see, Azure is actually a pretty young account. He's a little bit younger than mine too, which is surprising because he has a 9-digit ID. And I also have a 9-digit ID. I think mine starts with like 130 or something. So, and I think he said that he's like about 9 months behind me. 200 days behind me. And his kill points are nice. Power, I'm assuming that he's still lacking because of the fact that he just got out of KVK, I'm assuming. Civilized in France, though. That's interesting. But yeah, let's take a look at what he has. All right, so definitely someone who can actually push up all the way to whatever his max capacity is for Crystal Tech. As you can see, someone who's hit at least 410,000. Not too crazy with expertise though. Huo, Zuge, Nevsky, Liu Che, and Skippy Prime, Arthur, and Ragnar Prime, and Joan of Arc Prime, and Attila's not expertise, Herma's not expertise, and then he has Justinian expertise, Isangye expertise, and then he has basically the William, Hera, Subutai, and all the other free-to-play commanders as well. Right now he's running Zuge Herman, Liu Che, Skippy, the Ragnar Prime. Liu Che Ragnar Prime, okay. Huo Arthur, Nevsky, Joan of Arc Prime, and then Skippy Prime and Yi Sung-ye. But he did save up a lot, so the lineup's not the most optimal right now, but he does have a lot of legendary commander sculptures saved up. In fact, he has enough to actually expertise 2 commanders fully, which is nice. Then it will give us a lot of wiggle room, work room for me to actually work around his stuff as well. Now, he said his objective currently is building his 5th March and 6th March, potentially with leadership. So he wants that question asked, and then I will actually provide my suggestions throughout the video about this. And he wants to rally a garrison. And to a degree, I understand 100%. Like, whatever he has is very crazy. In fact, I bet he is already rallying and garrisoning, question mark. For depending on what kind of seed that his kingdom is in. But then again, we're gonna take a look at what he has, what kind of suggestions that I will have for rally and garrison. Again, he has some crazy stuff, but then again, he has areas that I would suggest otherwise kind of to improve on before rallying and garrisoning for his kingdom. Now, and then he has 1562 gold heads, which is nice. And then other commanders, Hera, Attila, Subutai are almost. So Hera's 5552, which means that he needs about 250 or something sculptures for him to actually max Hera. Attila a little bit less. He needs about 400 sculptures. Subutai another 500, 400 sculptures that he needs for Subutai and Attila. So if he wants to run an Attila Subutai rally, he has to basically invest every single gold head that he has for him to actually get them running, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But let's take a look at his set. And oh my god. Quadruple legendary inscriptions. Wow. And not to mention, all damage and cavalry health combined. Let's just say, just general rule of thumb is that all damage plus times 1.5 is usually equivalent to how much health that you're actually getting for cavalry. And then let's say 1.5. So that will base 1.5 to 2. 1.5 will basically give him like 5%. And then, yeah, so this is like, he has basically everything that he needs on this set. He doesn't need to touch this Wedge set at all. He's almost close to max with cavalry attack. Defense almost close to max. Max, by the way, is like 13.5%. Max that you can get, because you can get 3.5% times 4. No. Wait, hold on. 3.5% times 4. Max is 14%. Yeah, my apologies. So he's very close to there. He's basically missing like 1% and 6, right? So some crazy amount here. Maximum that you can get from all stats if you don't have any all damage, it's going to be 14 times 3, so 42%, and he's very close to that. And he has pretty good armor, pretty good equipment. Basically, he has everything talented except for horn and helmet. And this is where it pains me to say, but I wish that he critted his horn instead of ring, because horn is nowadays the stronger. Well, actually, in fact, horn was actually the stronger equipment always. So that is unfortunate, but he's missing talent on his helmet and his horn, but everything else looks good. I can see that he started on his iconics, which is all really, really good. Very strong number 1 cavalry set. Like, yeah, he's working on it. He's working on it, and it is really, really good. And his second set is actually Zhuge with wedge formation. So he has basically, I think this is the one that doesn't give you the maximum health, but also gives you a lot more defense build. And this set right here, I wouldn't touch a thing about this one. It is really, really good. I think this is probably the best overall for field, I believe. Not necessarily for rally and garrison because of the health that is missing somewhat, but crazy stuff. And also for his wedge formation, his armaments are really, really good. Hunter's good, brutal, assertive. I think they both give all damage, which is nice. He has Hardy, which will give him 3.5%. So this right here is going to give him about like 35% total stats right there, because of Hardy. And then on top of that, he has 3.5% march speed for archers, which is probably the max roll that he has somewhere else, which gives him a grand total of amazing, amazing stuff. I'm not going to do the math. But yeah, very, very strong archer set. Much better than mine, I think. Let's actually jump in to the game and see if I have better stuff for archers. I think his stuff is way better than mine for archer. Well, in fact, let's first take a look at whatever I have. Yeah, his cavalry stuff, cavalry armament is much better. You can see that I am missing one inscription on this one, on the second one, and then my first one doesn't even have legendary inscription, but just because of the fact that it's arch, I don't want destructive. I don't want to lose on that rage, extra rage, so this is fine. But then again, everything else, given that I don't have legendary inscription on here, and overall stats wise, I think his armaments are on par, if not better. So some crazy, crazy armaments. By the way, I just actually finished re-rolling this one, and this is very nice. This gives you 10% stats out of 10.5% that you can get total, which is amazing. But anyways, that was my that was my little bragging session right there. Let's see. My archers are basically crap. Yeah, compared to him. I give myself 6% of health, and like normal damage and counterattack damage and whatnot. But yeah, like whatever he has is a lot better than whatever I have with my archers. So yeah, very very strong wedge set that he has on both cavalry number 1 and archer number 1. Cavalry number 2, in terms of stats, this one is actually even crazier. You can see that he has 36.6% stats overall on whatever he has, like on stats, raw stats alone. And then he has Hunter, Boiling Blood, a Focus Fire, which is all really really good for a second cavalry set. Wow. So if he really wants to, he can technically actually transfer all this into Archer Delta, and then actually still run a good enough garrison for him to actually use for his kingdom, if he has a really strong equipment set that can be on par with whatever the power level the kingdom requires. But man, his formation and armaments are really top notch. Like I really envy him. Whatever he has. My second cavalry wedge formation is not nowhere near as good as this one, because I just destroyed mine to go over to Delta, and then I went from Delta to Arch, and then moved a lot more wedge stuff to Arch, and then now I'm kind of like all over the place with my cavalry armaments. But this is really really nice. In terms of equipment, everything is legendary. Everything is what I recommend. If you're already building a KVK set on the first one, having a second set that basically does set weapon and helmet is what I would recommend, because just the amount of blueprints that you'll be able to get from each set is just, yeah, you don't want to build two different KVK set if you're not done with the first one, right? So yeah, the first three equipments I wouldn't touch. First three armaments I wouldn't touch. Perfect. Like in terms of an account that's actually still building out stuff. His fourth stuff is actually on the more, okay, well, this is where we can actually give a little more suggestions on. Liu Che for arch formation. He has six different what's this called, the inscriptions, which are all really good, by the way. Like fit, assertive. Fit gives you health, assertive gives you all damage, shielded gives you 3.5% defense, respite I think also gives you all damage. So all very relevant armaments, which is really good. And he has the KVK weapon, KVK helmet, and then the Hope Cloak. And then he has basically the blue shield, which is really nice. And then the purple, the Karukas pants, and then infantry specific epic gloves. And then he has the boost that gives him, I think, like 4% infantry health, which is really nice. And drum ring for now, probably for Liu Che, is really nice too. So very very good force set. Probably what he's working on while he's working on other cavalry stuff for rally and stuff. This is really really nice. His second infantry set. So this is his fifth march. He has focus fire, but raw stats on everything else. And he's basically running on blue set and epic pants, and then hope cloak. He has ring, and then he has the movement speed. Okay, so the ones that you can actually maybe craft next is basically going to be arch accessories for this one too, or accessories for Liu Che, so that you can actually move whatever Liu Che has to Scipio Africanus. Now, the common theme that I noticed that he basically pulled every single armament that he pulled out for wedge, and then he basically collected scraps and leftovers to basically build this arch formation is basically what I can tell. You can see that everything he has on wedge formation is really, really top notch. And then our stuff is a little bit worse, but it's still really good, by the way. But for him to benefit from pincer, though, let's say when the pincer comes around and you want to actually fully utilize pincer, you do need the legendary inscriptions on pincer. So that is something that I would just be a little bit cautious about, because the reason why pincer is so good is because the pincer has the first and second inscription that is on the scroll and instrument that are really, really overpowered. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting pincer, only think about doing so after you get those legendary inscription for those formation. It's basically what I recommend. But obviously you're a cavalry main, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So overall, whatever he has, no immediate optimizations needed. I wouldn't move anything as it is. I'll just leave it as that. So very good. Very, very good. You have probably the most optimal setup that I'll use for whatever you have already. So and for equipment priority though, the biggest problem for you is right now actually you have too many rings crafted. And I don't blame you. I know that the meta was that you craft a ring and a horn for each marsh. But then again, you also crafted the drum, and then you're missing a lot of horns. So I think you put a little bit more priority on the ring itself, which is why it's a little bit complicated, because you already have 5 rings crafted. Now, I will say for you the number one priority for field, and this is for field and field only, because I'll go over about the rally and garrison the bottom side later. But for field, you should give your horn to infantry number 1. So craft a horn, then give it to infantry number 1, and then complete that ring and horn formation, horn for your Luce. And then I know it pains you, but give your drum to Scipio Africanus, and then just use that as a support march that will give you a lot of buff. And once your infantry number 1 is complete, once you're done with number 1, so number 1 priority, which is to give horn to infantry number 1, infantry number 1 finish the infantry number 1 set is basically what I recommend. So I would say in the order of leadership boost, KVK infantry weapon, non-infantry, non-set gloves for infantry, and then leadership pants for the most optimal setup. And then finish your infantry number 2, where you actually give infantry leadership boots. And then infantry set helmet, infantry set gloves, leadership pants, infantry set weapon is basically what I will give you, so that you can have the maximum power that you can harness as much as you can from the current setup that the Rise of Kingdom provides. In the long term though, if you want to rally and garrison, your number 1 priority is going to be critting horn. There's nothing in the game that can beat the damage difference between horn, crit, and any iconic, in my opinion. So before you get your horn to iconic 2, iconic 4, or like iconic 5, you need to crit your horn. Because the extra rage that you actually gain from horn is just too crucial, especially because you're running cavalry, and then cavalry with combo attack and being able to kind of trigger horn again, it's just a little bit too much that you're missing out on if you're looking to rally for a relatively competitive kingdom. And then that's what I would recommend. And then you go on and do iconic 2, iconic 4, crit KVK helmet, because that's the only crit that you'll be missing at that point, and then iconic 5 everything. So in a nutshell, it will look like this. Again, craft the horn and then give your drum to this one. and then craft your infantry leadership boost, and then KVK weapons so that you have the KVK weapon set, and then replace your gloves with the non-infantry set gloves so that you actually get the legendary gloves going, and then craft your pants so that you can replace the epic Karukas pants at last. Similar deal for the infantry set number 2. Leadership boots, set helmet, and then your infantry set gloves, leadership pants, and then you basically replace your infantry weapon set number 2's weapon with the set weapon. For this one, again, number 1 is going to be you creating this one, and then iconic 2, iconic 4, and then helmet talent, and then iconic 5 is basically what I recommend, as I recommended before. All right, so your armament priority, you have top tier armaments. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's better than mine, Lord. You have better armaments than mine. I can't give you suggestions on armaments for wedge. But only focus on wedge. So convert and work on your pincer set is going to be your next priority. Use a current R set that you have with infantry until you have special inscriptions for pincer. Until you have the pincer special the special inscriptions for destructive that you get from KPK shop, and then special inscriptions from the mileages that you'll be able to get, like the balance and stuff, right? The third one, the banner or whatever. The one that you get from the mileage from getting a lot of legendary inscriptions and stuff. Like, get that, and then also make sure you get another instrument legendary inscription so that you'll be able to actually convert to pincer. But until then, Arch is actually fine, because I think normal damage buff that Arch provides 5%, that's still better than giving 10% smite damage, even with the release of Baichu. So run your Arch set as it is until you get those legendary inscriptions ready, and then switch over to pincer for your stuff. Now, if you really want to run Attila Subutai Rally right now, I wouldn't recommend it, because one, you would basically need to invest every single gold heads that you have onto them, so that you don't have the gold head wiggle room for you to actually work with for your Baichu. So I wouldn't touch rallies for next couple KVKs. So my immediate suggestion is that you actually work on your field stuff first, and then worry about Attila Subutai rally, or like any other rally that comes in meta with potentially leadership commanders coming into the end of the year. So, but if you want to run Attila Subutai rally right now, your kingdom needs you, then convert your best wedge set to Arch for our Attila Subutai rally. Having 3 special inscription except destructive is the best, with normal inscription on the first slot is ideal. Just like how I had on mine, as I showed you earlier. Yeah, so that's how I would do in terms of armaments. And whether or not Arch is better than Delta, I think right now Arch is better than our Delta because we don't have second combo damage commander. But if you are going to rally for your kingdom, you basically just have to pay for the conversion stone for you to actually first convert to Arch and then convert them to Delta, is my opinion. Because as a rally lead, you gotta basically work around the best efficiencies for your kingdom, not necessarily for yourself. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's basically what I recommend for armaments. For the best lineup, I would say just get Baichu, and then your set will basically be complete. Your whole lineup will basically optimize very well from whatever you have to Ho Arthur, Liu Che, Baichu, and then Ragnar Prime and Skippy Prime for the wedge formation one, and then Zhuge Herman, Nevsky Jonabar Prime. Based on what I actually saw from your account already, you probably were planning on this, and as I think you did say that you're gonna get the Baichu and then replace someone with the Ragnar Prime. So yeah, I think this is what you're thinking about, but just to make sure that you have this at hand, this is basically what I recommend too. And for Commander Priority, you need Baichu as soon as he releases for the Baichu, the new chip, and use Ragnar Prime and Skippy Prime. And if you want to rally for Arshan Delta, you can build Philip and then run Arthur Philip for your best armaments, and then run Poe and Jonabar Prime. This is optional. Obviously, I said wait for you to be done with your field set, or if you're really going to work on it, you will need other optimization for you to actually rally, but that I'll go over in the next slide. You can also build your 6 March for Siege for now, in my opinion, as there are still too many outstanding projects. You need all your materials invested in your having 5 field marches or having the one rally march that's going to be really good. So you don't have any spare equipments that you can actually spare for your 6 March, in my opinion. And like honestly, what are you gonna build like at this point? Like you really don't have a 6 March, I think. So yeah, just build one for your siege, and you should just be done with it. Especially if you want to garrison a rally. Now, this is kind of my disclaimer for necessities for rally and garrison. This comes from someone who does rally, who does garrison for all my Rise of Kingdoms history, and you know, like some places I do regret being rally and garrison lead. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background on like what you need to expect, so that if you're actually thinking about, okay, well, I can clearly tell that you're actually spending a lot of money on your armaments, but then again, like, is this really what you're looking for rally and garrison lead? Maybe something for you to think about. So the first thing is obviously the willingness to spend for crystal tech. I'm sure you're spending already, but the minimum for a Siege Kingdom, I think for rally, is first 3 Mountain Warfares, which is gonna be $600 plus minimum KVK stuff. So what I mean by that is first 3 Mountain Warfares, which means that it's gonna be at least $600 plus per KVK that you're gonna have to spend. Garrison is a little better. First 2 Mountain Warfares is basically all you need. I think if you want to garrison really well, you can get the third one. But yeah, it's not really necessary because you don't need to invest in rally capacity as a garrison lead. And VIP 17 is not optional. You need VIP 17. That 5% all damage that you're going to be missing against your opponents is going to be crucial. Unless you're in the lower Sea Kingdom, that is fine. But you need VIP 17. I saw that you were VIP 16. So if you want to garrison and get rally, get VIP 17. Yeah, that's not really an optional thing for your kingdom, because your kingdom's rallying with their own troops, right? To basically provide the best value for your own kingdom. But then again, if you're missing 5% all damage somewhere just because you didn't get the VIP 17, which is very common for everyone, is not really good. All right, so Cav Garrison, your current setup is probably the best for B or below. The reason why I would say B or below is because of your current equipment. Again, you're missing the horn crit. You don't have the iconics yet. But right now, if you wanna garrison as a cavalry, even without VIP 17, you can still garrison really well for any kingdoms that's in the B seed or below, and that's my assessment. But yeah, if you want the garrison, you can do it right away if you're in kingdom that's on the lower seat. And if you want a cav rally though, conversion to Arch is necessary. And this will be good for at least a year plus minimum, because like it will be a long time until you see another at least like combo cavalry field march commander on the field, right? Because we just got cavalry earlier part of this year, and then we're getting Baichu now, and then next is probably Archer, which is going to be another 3 months. And then another 6 months out, we'll have a leadership commander, right? So conversion to Arch is really necessary if you want to rally sooner. Delta is usable, but again, the same thing goes for why you need VIP 17, and it's not optional. Your kingdom will suffer from suboptimal rallies, and probably not what you want. And I've tested Subutai, Attila Subutai rally. They really do hit really hard. So yeah, if you really want to rally sometime very soon, converting to Arch is basically 100% needed. And Arch will also allow you to actually rally with artifact KVKs with other infantry smite commanders such as, I don't know, Luce, Scipio Aemilianus. Any commander that basically can do smite damage. If you have Arch, you can use both of them in a single march and rally with it and have amazing results. But then again, if you have Delta, infantry and cavalry are in a different path, so it's not really that optimal. So, yeah, getting a Arch if you want to rally anytime soon is really a must. But if you want to go ahead and wait until you're finished with all your field stuff, I think that's fine. But I know that you're looking to rally for your cavalry stuff, and then it is amazing. Your armaments is top notch. I think even like streamers would really envy your wedge formation armaments. To be really honest with you, like I wouldn't call myself really a streamer, but I'm talking about like the top dogs, like the Chisgles and stuff. So like whatever you have for wedge is really really good. It's probably one of the best on the game. But equipments, you need it. You need VIP 17, and most importantly, you need willingness to spend for your mountain warfares every KVK, and you should feel very comfortable spending about $600 plus for each KVK if you want to rally. For garrison, it's a little better. It's probably around where you're spending already if you're maxing out your unit capacity on your stuff. And then VIP 17, just get that as soon as possible before you actually start rallying garrisoning. But alright, I hope this was helpful for you, Azure. Thank you for sharing your awesome account with me. And I gotta tell you, I'm very impressed with your armaments. And I'm sorry I got a little bit too picky towards the end. But this is some things that you basically have to consider as a rally or garrison lead for your kingdom. So, yeah. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it, Azure. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you did like this video, please like and subscribe to the video. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.